Sword Excalibur is fully integrated into the Microsoft Office suite of applications. I'm going to illustrate this with Microsoft Word, and I'm going to start by creating a new document. Now in this example I'm running in a passive mode where I can create documents in Word natively or through Excalibur, but we can also lock it down and make it active so that only Excalibur can be used. I'll click on New, and that will bring up a list of my libraries and the templates available in those libraries. So I have an admin library for the 40% of documents that aren't related to a specific client or matter, a legal library, know-how library and precedent libraries, and additional libraries are possible. In this case I'm going to create an admin memorandum, and clicking on that calls up the template and populates it with some information that it already knows. Now in this case I'm going to change the author to myself, and I'm going to select where I want to save this document. So I'm going to make this an IT document, and the category is going to be invoices. These lists are maintained within SharePoint, so you can have as few or as many items on each, but the choice of category depends on the choice of admin area. And I can then give it a title. Now the yellow fields are all I need to save the document into SharePoint, but what I have done very easily is create a document, specify some information on it, and then put that into SharePoint. While it's saving it into SharePoint, it will save it, make sure that everything it needs is there, and it will allocate it the next document number, in this case 23, and the version number, so this is a 0.0.1. While I'm working on this document, I can type into it, and then I can either update my version or I can save as a new version. Minor and major versions are supported, so minor versions allow you to build up a document, and major versions when you trigger something more important like publishing. In this case I'll make that a minor version. Equally important to SharePoint is security, so there is always security. If I click on the settings here, I can see the groups that are permitted access to this document, and different groups have got different rights. Each template and each library has its own groups that are permitted. I can choose to remove those groups, and I can choose to add individuals if I wish. So I wish to add my colleague in this case and give them full rights. And that is sufficient to give them access to the document. We've made all of this as quick and as simple and as easy as possible, so the documents are being stored in a consistent and coherent manner, but it's being done without the users really realizing that this is happening. Now because we're working from templates, we have additional options, so I can click on the Memorandum tab, which is field specific to this template, and I can put information into these fields. By entering information this way, I'm actually making sure that it is saved into the correct field within the broader document template and document library. So these metadata fields can then be searched on specifically. I'll come back to the SharePoint tab, and I'm going to save this as a new version, and I'm going to make that a major version. Now this document was created as an admin document. I just want to illustrate another feature. If I choose New, and this time I'm going to create a legal memo. Same template, but this time how it's filed and where it's filed is different. I'm hooking into a database, and this can be my matter management system. Choose OK for that. And the matter number, if I know what it is I can type it in. If I don't, I can pick it from the list. So I have the same concept, but the data is coming from a completely different source, and it's not tied to Excalibur. Sword has taken great care in developing this product to make sure that it is neutral, in that it uses SharePoint, saves things in SharePoint, works within it, but does it in a way that doesn't compromise the ability to use other products in conjunction. So matter management systems, security systems can all be overlaid on top of it without causing any issue. I can save that. They go into two different libraries, but the process is the same, the training is the same, and people can get up and running very quickly. Excalibur enhances the way that we can open documents. If I click on Excalibur and open, I then come into the quick retrieve screen. This shows me all of my recently edited documents, and those can be quickly filtered by the different libraries. I can also have save searches where I have a predefined search, and I can search in a number of other ways. If I want to, I can search for a keyword. I will find any documents with that, and this is exploiting the SharePoint full text search engine. And I could do a profile search where I'm looking for some specific information. So for example, I could be looking for specific admin documents to do with the IT department and search on those. I can filter that or constrain that by dates and document types and authors. So it provides a very powerful way of retrieving a specific set of documents from the system. Once I have my set of documents, and I can see in this case document 23 is open, I can click on it, and that will give me the various bits of information to do with that document. These are the metadata fields, and they are searchable but also viewable here. I have a viewer, so selecting on that allows me to actually have a look at the document, and if I wish to, I can highlight words and copy them, paste them into another document. That's a very common use for this screen. It's not necessarily for opening it, it's just for finding some text that's needed in another document. We have a version history. It's document management. We can see the versions, we can see who built it, who created it, and when. And we can have a full audit history as well. So anytime anybody touches a document, we access that, and that includes viewing. So anybody who actually looks at a document, we will pick that out and we will know who it is. And we know when. If I have a quick search, those are kept for 24 hours. If I don't use it within 24, or if I don't do anything with it within 24 hours, it will be deleted. If I want to keep it, then I can right click and save it. Now my documents, as well as seeing the basic properties of those, I can edit those properties. I don't have to open the document, I can actually do it from here. I have the option to change the permissions for the document, to attach it to an email. I'll spend more time on email shortly. Print it. I can export it to a specific location, so if I want to make a copy I can export it out, and I can do that as a PDF or as the original file. I can check it out, and the document that's checked out means that nobody else can edit it. So it's a way of actually locking that version of the document. I can delete it if I have sufficient permissions, and if I have an extranet I can send that document to extranet. So publishing selected documents to extranet is as easy as finding them and then saying that's what I want it to do. Excalibur is fully integrated into Office in this, and that goes as far as having its own ribbon. I click on the Sort Excalibur ribbon, and that gives me a number of functions that I can call up. So Display Search Profile gives me a quick access to the quick retrieve screen. Print gives me access to my printers, but also allows me to add control sheets and watermarks, and also when I hit OK on that, it will add a print event into the audit log. So the fact that the document has been printed becomes another auditable event. We have a precedent library. The precedents allow us to choose a document, choose an area, and then see all the precedents we have there. Now the precedent area and the categories are maintained lists, so you can create as few or as many of these as you need. Once I have my precedent that I want to use, I can click on it, click on Insert, and it will add that into the document. That's been added in this case just a bit of Greek text. We can move on to the next function. Footers are important. I have one in this document, but I can replace that with a reference to the document just by clicking a button. And should I need that in the document, I can click on another button and it will add it in at that point. It's also useful in documents to refer to other documents, so I can insert a file reference, say to document number 17, and I can display it as the number or as the title. In this case I prefer the title, and that will give me a link to the document. Now this is fully security trimmed, so if I open this document but didn't have access to the one that it refers to, even clicking on the link will not open up that document. SharePoint will take care of that. We have integrations into Outlook and other CRMs, so the Outlook Exchange I can select myself, and in this case it will bring back my address. If you work with blobs, blobs are markers in a document that tell the user where to do the next piece of work. Find blob will just move through a document and find the next one of those. I have a simple function here to attach my document to an email, which will tell me I need to save it first, so we'll save it as a new version. And I could then attach that to an email as a Word document or as a PDF. I can set a document password very easily if I want to do that, and if I have a logo library I can access those as well. We have a library of our own functions, so we can have an extensive list of Office details. I can choose that, choose the location that I want, and then decide the particular details that I want to put in on this at this time. So I'll add that in. And a number of other functions on here for producing documents quickly and accurately. I can show and hide the properties. I can run a compare, so we can pick out two versions of the same document or two different documents and then use Word to compare the features of those documents and generate the differences between those. And I have further options allowing me to, if I move further down, to specify some additional automatic text that I want to put onto the document. So different bits of text that are used repeatedly, rather than having to be retyped or copied, can be added to a simple menu, and we can then pull those down. Excalibur is integrated with some extra functions into Outlook. So in this case I will call up Outlook and create a new email. I'll send this to myself so I can see the whole process going through and create the email. Now in this case I would like to attach one of my documents, so I go to the Excalibur ribbon, attach from DMS, and I get the same screen. You'll see the same searches, the same options each time. So we'll choose this one, right click on it, and I'm going to attach it to my email. We'll attach it to the current one, and I'm going to choose to send that as a PDF. That's now attached, so I can close these screens and I see my email. If I send that, I get the option to save this document into SharePoint, and this can be made mandatory. I have, in this case, I can have the option to continue without it, but I can save it. I can create new profiles, or I could use one of my existing profiles and save the document. This makes saving as you go, filing as you go, very quick, automatic, and just makes the whole process of creating emails but having a record of it very intuitive and with virtually no overhead. If I click on my inbox, then I can see I've got my new document, and I can click on Save DMS and actually save this directly into the system. So I can choose whether it's an admin document, if it's a legal document, and then specify the client and the matter for legal, or the admin, it would be the category in the area. More intuitively, I can create drop folders. So I have my documents, admin documents and legal documents. If I create a new drop folder for my admin documents, create a new one, I'm going to make this for my IT and for my invoices. And if I want to put this into the folder, I can go to my inbox, take the document and drag it into invoices. The document, if I right click on here and view all files, will show me all the documents in this folder. In this case I just have two, but one of those is the email I've just sent and received, and it's as simple as dragging and dropping it into a folder. That's in SharePoint. I can access it in SharePoint, and I can see my Office documents from here as well. Final option I have as the extra functions for Excalibur in Outlook is with one of my folders. I have an option to request the email to the MS, which basically will take all of the documents in this folder and put them into the SharePoint system, but do that as an exchange to SharePoint conversation. So this will take a folder of emails, archive them away to a specific location, but do that as a server-to-server exercise, so it's not tying up your Outlook client while it's doing that. This runs on a schedule basis, so it doesn't necessarily run through the day. It may run at some time in the evening where you have some downtime on the system. Excalibur is based on SharePoint and exploits SharePoint, and to that end we provide 5 web parts so that Excalibur functionality can be exposed within a SharePoint portal and the full capabilities used from there. So in this case I just have a simple view of all of my recently edited documents, but I can use this control in a different way to filter out specific documents to do with a specific matter, and I can display that in different ways. So going to this side, I now have my matters grouped under the client as collapsible lists. They're very flexible controls, and they do allow you to surface the information in Excalibur in a number of different ways. We provide an upload function, and this allows individual documents to be selected, profiled and uploaded into Excalibur from the browser. We give you access to the saved searches. These are the same saved searches that you created in the Quick Retrieve, so a search that's created in Outlook or Word is accessible through the web client. We give you access to the Quick Search function and to the Advanced Profile Search. All of those allow or ensure that any content that is saved into the system is fully accessible from a browser as well as from the applications.